What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Boxing is slowly but surely coming back, man. They've been putting on some lower level fights on ESPN promoted by Top Rank, and now I'm starting to catch wind of some major fights on the horizon. And one fight that they're proposing is with the PBC and Al Heyman, and that's a junior middleweight unification matchup between WBA and IBF. Junior middleweight champion Jeison Rosario out of Colombia versus Houston's own Jermell Charlo. Rosario defeated Julian Williams of Philadelphia in his hometown in a devastating stoppage as he broke down Julian Williams, cut him up under both eyes, and defeated Julian Williams in an upset in 2019. Now he's going to take on Jermell Charlo is what they're trying to put together. Jermell Charlo recently was in a Fight of the Year battle with Tony Harrison, man. A very entertaining fight as he had to go through some adversity as being a come forward aggressive fighter. He found himself on the back foot getting backed up by the so-called more technical fighter Tony Harrison, as Harrison backed him up and gave him a lot of problems. But he was able to weather the storm and get the knockout in the second half of the fight. Now, this is going to be a good fight, man. This is going to be a fight that can't disappoint. You got two come-forward fighters, two guys that are looking to land big-time hard shots. And you got both guys looking to be aggressive. Both guys have that seek and destroy mindset. I think the difference in the fight is going to be Jermell Charlo's chin. Has one of the best chins in boxing. I haven't never seen this guy hurt in any of his 34 fights. He's 33-1, and the one decision was a controversial decision lost to Tony Harrison, as he was able to avenge that in a rematch when he got the stoppage, as I just stated earlier. So that's going to be a good fight. I think that's the difference, man. Jeison Rosario is 21-1, but I remember in this matchup before he was able to get the title, he fought a dude named Nathaniel Gallimore. And he got stopped in that fight, got badly hurt, and ended up succumbing to Nathaniel Gallimore. So I think that'll be the difference in the fight. I think both guys have, like I said, both guys have good power. Both guys are very strong. But even saying that, I just think Jermell just a little bit better in each department, man. I think both guys got good power, but I think Jermell Charlo power is a little bit more devastating. Both guys have good chins, even though, like I said earlier, Jeison Rosario was stopped in that fight, man, but he wasn't like knocked out. He just got stopped, man, and just couldn't Nathaniel Gallimore ended up overwhelming him with his, at that time, he was just a superior fighter at that time. He was just a little bit more advanced at that stage than Jeison Rosario. But Jeison Rosario hasn't shown throughout his career he has some kind of weak chin. But I just think Jermell Charlo, I haven't seen him hurt once. And he's taking shots. He took some shots in the last fight with Tony Harrison. And Tony Harrison is another guy that has underrated power. And he was able to withstand that. I didn't see him buckle or see him stunned or dazed or none of that in that fight or really throughout his career. So I give him the advantage in those two categories. Better chin and a little bit better power. And I think he's just been in a little bit better competition. You look at Jermell's resume, man. His resume doesn't get talked about enough, man. He has a very strong resume, man. He's been in there with Tony Harrison, world level fighter. He beat Erickson Lubin, who was everybody's next big thing in boxing. Knocked him out, slept him in the first round. Beat Jason Hadley, who's a decent fighter. Beat Alcine, a solid fighter. Beat John Jackson, another solid fighter, man. He has a very, very good resume. Beat Vanis Majorosian. Beat him too. So he has a very good resume, man. And I think his resume and his better chin and a little bit more power is going to be the difference in this fight. Now, one thing Jermell Charlo going to have to worry about in this fight is he's fighting a guy that's actually going to be bigger than him. He's going to have the reach advantage over him, and he's going to have the height advantage over him. And I think going into the night of the fight, he's going to be the naturally bigger guy in Jeison Rosario. So that'll be something that he'll have to overcome. Jeison Rosario kind of remind me of Jarrett Hurd in this aspect. He's a big junior middleweight. He's a guy that I can easily see going up to middleweight and super middleweight in his future. And I can see him jumping. I can see him jumping up in two-weight class. He's a big guy. But the difference between him and Jarrett Hurd is Jeison Rosario is a little bit better technically, a little bit better fundamentally than Jarrett Hurd was at this stage of both of these guys' career. Now, Jarrett Hurd has recently change trainers, and he's looking to become a more well-rounded fighter. And we'll see what happens in this next fight. But that's what I'm hearing, man. That's what I'm hearing. They're working on that, man. And boxing knows, man, with the UFC doing what they're doing. I went to the sports bar to watch the last pay-per-view fight UFC put on, UFC 251. And it was a good card, man. Good card all the way through. The main event wasn't that great, but the overall card was good. And they had the numbers come in the other day, and they did 1.3 million pay-per-views. So these promoters, that's boxing promoters around here, you know, Al Heyman, he's not a official promoter, but, you know, he's in that category of a guy that put on fights. Al Heyman, Bob Arum, you know, Eddie Hearn, a.k.a. Eddie the Con Artist. Guys like that, Golden Boy Promotions, Oscar De La Hoya, and Eric Gomez, guys like that, they're going to have to put on top-notch fights, man. They can't come back with just mid-level fights, man. They got to put the best in with the best, and that's what Dana White has done. That's been his motto, and that's why right now you have to say the UFC has passed boxing. And as far as what sport is the most popular sport, they have passed, and they have taken full advantage of this lull that we've had right now, where sports have been pretty much shut down in 3 major sports: football, NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball. They took full advantage, man. They got a fight coming on tonight, you know, live from the island, Abu Dhabi. They putting on a card there, the same location they had to fight last Saturday. That was pay-per-view. They did again, $1.3 million. So they've taken their sport to another level, and it seems like the boxing is stuck in mud, man. They need to make these fights happen. Another fight I like to see happen that I don't think is going to happen, but Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. Caleb Plant and his team seem to want it, but David Benavidez want to have a fight or maybe another fight before he takes on Caleb Plant. Serious things like this is hurting the sport of boxing. David Benavidez, you just beat Anthony Durrell, a world champion. You should be ready to step in there with another world champion. What's the holdup? If Caleb Plant want to make it happen, and you don't want to make it happen, that's on you, man. You need to try to make it happen. Come together, y'all get the numbers correct, and y'all can do a big time fight on Fox. These fights like this need to happen. Terrence Crawford, you know, I told you in the other video that he's fighting Ray Robinson next. You know, they was trying to make a fight between him and Manny Pacquiao, but right now, a lot of these countries overseas, they don't want to do nothing until next year. They want to see how this pandemic plays out before putting together fights that's going to involve big crowds that satisfy both fighters' purses. So he's going to have to take a stay busy fight. But at least they're trying to make a fight between him and Pacquiao. Because, you know, you look at the welterweight division, it's 3 guys that's at the top of the welterweight division. They don't have any clarity there who's the king of 147. But the 3 guys that's in the running is Errol Spence Jr., Manny Pacquiao, and Terrence Crawford. So any one of those guys fighting, 2 of those guys out of that 3 fight each other, that's fights that need to be made. I don't care if it's Pacquiao Spence, Pacquiao Crawford Spence. Those fights need to be made. That's what in this boxing, and that should be the model of boxing in general. Make the best fight the best, and that should be the fights that need to be made next. Not okay, I'm gonna take this fight in the meantime. I'm gonna take this stay busy fight, and then I'm gonna fight the best after that. Let me get my feet wet. I've been out for a while. This pandemic came along when I was supposed to have a fight, and I've been out of the ring for over a year, almost a year. I need to take a warm-up fight and then get in there with the top dog. No, you can't wait like that. You've been fighting all your career. This ain't your first rodeo. If you did have a long layoff, you should be able to, with sparring, training, and a proper training camp, you should be able to get in there and fight the best next. Quit stalling and quit getting in there with a stay busy fight, get upset, get knocked off, or get cut, or get injured, and then you never get around to fighting the fight that everybody want to see. So that's why I'm telling all these fighters, learn from the UFC model. The best fight the best. Let's see it happen. And hopefully we're getting a step closer with this Jeison Rosario versus Houston's own Jermell Charlo. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Hit the like button if you like this video and what I'm saying about boxing needing to step it up, man, and get these top fighters fighting the other top fighters, and quit taking these interim fights and these warm-up fights, and let's see the best fight the best. And that's the only way boxing is going to return to their glory years. They'll never get back to the Ali, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler glory days. They'll never get back to those days, but they can get to the level that UFC is on right now, where they putting on top guys, fighting the top guys, and doing 1.3 million pay-per-views as we've seen last Saturday for UFC 251. They ought to be able to at least get to that point of popularity. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what transpires. But let me know what you think about Jeison Rosario versus Jermell Charlo for unification at 154 pounds. It'll be it'll be 4 titles, but I don't count the IBO. But the IBF, the WBA titles held by Jeison Rosario will be on the line versus Jermell Charlo's WBC title. So it'll be 3 titles, and technically 4 if you count the IBO, but I don't count the IBO. And I got a pet peeve with the IBO ever since Eddie the Con Artist Hearn tried to prop that up every time he mentioned Anthony Joshua's name. Oh, he's the 4-title champion. He's the WBA, the WBO, the IBF, and the IBO heavyweight champion. Throwing IBO in like that's a major title. IBO is not no major title. IBO is on the same level as the NABF or something like that, or the WBC Continental title. It's not one of the 4 major titles. There's 4 major titles in boxing. It really should be 1. That's another pet peeve of mine. Get rid of all these belts. Get rid of all these titles. I'm gonna say it should be 1 title per division. But since we're in this conversation right now, the 4 major titles are WBA, WBC, IBF, and the WBO. That's it. No IBO, no NABF, no WBC Gold, no WBC Continental, none of that. Those are the 4 major titles. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and subscribe to JB Sports. And hit the like button if you like this video. It helped grow the video. But subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.